Hello everybody and welcome back. It's been a hot minute. Something about traveling, and feels like it's been forever since I did a stream, and it probably has. How has everybody been doing? Looks like the captions might be working. Yep. Oh, why can I hear myself? This is not good. Let's close that. There we go. Now I can stop hearing myself. Not hearing myself good. All right, especially with a 2-second delay. Anywho, so not being 100% sure what to do on stream today, we figured I'm gonna do some web stuff. Stuff being who knows what. So let's go ahead and grab, let's do this. Oops, wrong lever. That's not ideal. All right. Well, y'all get to see the chaos while I edit which screen it decides to go to, because that is not what it's supposed to go to. We get to deal with editing stuff live. That's always great. I'm gonna change the properties because that is definitely the wrong screen. That is the correct screen. Ta-da. All right. Now that we're showing the correct screen, captions are good. Cool. Sound is okay, I take it. We are going to do this. I always test and prod. Yeah, no, seriously. I try not to, but I guess today we are. What I did today is we have sound is good too. Cool. My team has been nice enough to at work to create stories that are that they have assigned to me that are labeled as streamable. So I went ahead and made myself a filter to look for things that are, quote, streamable. In other words, they believe they are going to be good content to go ahead and do while I'm on the web, which is fun. So the first two I think that we're gonna hit is LoreLink. There's been a lot going on in LoreLink with Origins coming just around the corner. If y'all don't know what LoreLink is, it is a TTRPG management campaign that we've been working on. It is super awesome. Definitely check it out. The URL is lorelink.com. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Why is it not letting me put it in the YouTube chat? Come on, YouTube. That did not make it a URL. Let's try that again. With the HTTPS and all, now it is. Cool. And so that is where you can find all the goodness and info about it. So we are going to spin that up and go ahead and see about fixing the low contrasts. Apparently there's a low contrast issue on install prompt in dark mode, as well as image backgrounds having gone by the way of the dodo in dark mode. And I think we're going to start with that, those two things. So let's get her spun up wherever my terminal is. While I do that, how's everybody doing tonight? Anybody do anything fun recently? Alright, so we're gonna spin this puppy up. Get full would be good. Make sure I have the latest and greatest. Oh, great. The internet is telling me I'm unstable again. I love it when it calls me out like that. I mean, I went to Scotland. That was pretty fun. Yeah, Scotland was a hell of a lot of fun. What was your favorite part? Here we go. I am on, so let's see. Let's grab that. I'm gonna move it over here. That'll be fun. Xenocast is probably, especially Sterling. Sterling was very pretty. It was, in fact. For those who haven't figured it out, maybe off the night. went together to Scotland, which actually we've been, I was joking around earlier and saying that we should do a co-stream where we basically take polar opposite takes on various coding things and or review each other's codes and see how long it takes before we start getting sponsorships from divorce lawyers. But I really want to go back to Isle of Skye sometimes to go back linking. Oh, I would love that. I'm so in for that. That would be so much fun. We're going to create a branch. We're going to claim that ticket. We're going to start with the low contrast issue, since that is an accessibility problem. We definitely want to deal with that. So we're going to do get checkout dash B. Create a branch. What's the ticket number on this? Of course, now it disappeared. It's 867 4 8 6. I can type. There we go. And that is a bug fix. Bug fix. And let's go ahead and figure out where that, before I even really run it, let's figure out where that prompt is. And I do believe it's just an app component. This is an Angular. Here's that. Now what I don't know, we have the toggle theme. What we need to start is figure out is where that's the state. Theme change alt dialog. No, I doubt this. That's not it. The install or link PWA prompt. Okay. Install. Like, let's see if I can't find it this way. Of course not. There we go. There's the prompt. And so essentially, where is it located? Can we run it? Oh yeah, we can force the issue to go ahead and force opening that to make it easier to debug on light and dark mode. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna do it in app component, to be honest. That component. We should probably start this thing. Let's go ahead and add. There we go. Emulators for the database aspect of this. And then we should be on localhost 4200. I'm going to put this puppy on because that's going to irritate me. Because I always have my code on that side and my stuff on this side. So, while that is spinning up, we're going to add a button somewhere to open the dialog in question. I just put it, oh, let's see, there it is. Okay, so that's not bad. Now if I put it in dark mode, now we definitely have problems. Actually, if it stays open, I can just do it this way. And if we go to the, it is essentially related to this background, which is probably coming from, that's the text color. Where's our background coming from? That's the overlay container. That's that. Color white. That's this puppy. That's not what we're looking for. It's definitely this puppy. Container. There it is. So it's this matte snack bar container color that we want to go ahead and edit. So if I go to our styles, and we thought, actually, if I go to our theme, that I think is where I kept all the colors. And we have a light, which it's find in light, we need to assign a color to this matte snack. So this is dark. Oh, so we do already have something in dark for that. Matte snack bar container color. MDC. We don't. We don't. Do we though? That's interesting that it says we do. Interesting. What is it inheriting it from? Oh, it's coming from snack bar theme. That's not one of our files. That explains a lot. Okay, so what we want to do is in ours, where we override that in our theme, which should be up here somewhere. There's our dark. And so what we want to do is assign a different color to that background. Let's start with that. So what we want to do is, let's go ahead and add a .matte MDC snack bar container. And then we're going to add a MDC snack bar. That could not have been consistent. That would have been too easy. Container color. Snack bar, not a bard. Snack bar. Container color. And now we need to come up with a color. So I think what we're going to do for that is we probably already have, let's do our background. Just our normal background. So if I do that, and we save that puppy, let's see what happens. We rebuild. And of course the snack bar disappears. So let's find out what's preventing that snack bar from disappear, so from not popping back up, so we can actually go ahead and disable that and have it show up every time. Okay. It's not open component. Git install apps if yeah. There you go. If no last prompt. Last so we want to get rid of that if and just ask for the prompt. For now, we'll have to remember to uncomment. To remove it, we'll have to remember to comment it back in. But there we go. Now, when we go ahead, it should ask for it every time. Okay, that did not fix our background problem though. Inspect. We did set a color. Did that not work correctly? It worked for the dialog container. Oh, I put 3 dashes. That's why. Typo heaven. Let's see if that fixes it. Magic. And now if we're in light mode though, so if I toggle theme, that still works just fine. I kind of almost feel like we may want to do a light color on here. Just so that it's a little bit more obvious. So we can do like a gray light maybe. Because what we really need to change is the text. But now we're actually going to theme it to our... So if I do that... This lifetime would be nice and good. Thank you. That's a little bit more visible. Now what I don't know is how well that's going to pan on color contrast, so let's find out. Of course, we're going to undo that so that I can actually get this, and I want that. And so this is going to be terrible. This is still 8.52, so we're okay on that. This is fine, it's just this text. Which obviously I can barely read it. I just know it's there, right? So that is, the color is coming from font size, font family, font weight, color. So what we want is this basically. Which in this case would be white. I mean, realistically. Cool. And so now if I check this with this, we're definitely good on color contrast. Maybe later's fine, install's fine. If I swap the color to this mode, we're still totally cool. And then we're a little bit lighter, which means that it's going to be a little bit more visible and pop a little bit better. So that will resolve that aspect of that problem. So let's go ahead and put in a PR for that. Let's make sure that we actually do. All right, this we don't want to keep. We had just commented it out so that I can make the prompt show up every single time as I refresh. So we're going to discard that, but we are going to keep that, which is basically assigning two variables over here to make sure that we're theming properly. So let's do a terminal, because that's just what I needed, more terminals. It's status, git add that, git commit -m lower 867 fix install prompt color contrast in dark mode. Git status, git push, set up stream origin, quick fix 4867. Oops, too many lowers. Too many lowers. Never have too much lore. All right, and now we can go into Bitbucket and go ahead and pull request that puppy. So we're gonna go to projects. We're going to go to lore link. We're going to go to the actual app. I'll have to figure out why I have errors. And we're gonna go ahead and create a pull request. Do y'all do pull requests at your jobs and where you work? For us, it's very much a standard everybody pull request. It doesn't matter if you're like the project lead on something. It doesn't matter if you're a senior dev. Like it doesn't. You could be the senior top architect. Blah blah blah. We do pull requests, but and everybody is welcome to comment on them. I don't know how it works all with you. Good, bad, indifferent. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Create pull request. Boom. All right. And in theory, the automation should have prompted that to be now. It is not. Hi, have you used the Atlassian extension for pull requests, etc.? I didn't know there was an extension. What does it do? So I'm going to go with no on the question, but what does it do? Code review. Okay. Next. So that takes care of that one. So now we have image backgrounds were removed by doing dark mode. So let's go ahead and figure that one out. Creates pull requests from VS Code. Oh, that extension. No, I mean, I guess I could, but I mean, command line is fine. I guess I mean, I've never, we do have automation. I was being impatient. We do have automation that listens to the repo and changes statuses based on where you are in the process and pull requests and whatnot. But for the most part, I learned on command line, and I kind of just have always kind of stuck to it just because it's easy for me. I do see the value in that though. Okay. Image background. Let's find out what's up with that. Can close this. There are a number of places in the link where background images set on an entity is displayed as a subtle background image on the page. This happens: campaign events, game objects, locations, player sessions. Yes. I'm assuming we can actually create a PR and everything using it instead of logging into web. That would be cool. Oh yeah, that would be cool. If you can create the PR directly from VS Code, that would actually be really interesting. That gets my attention. Okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. Let's see. Let's go look for it. And if we can get this done in time, we'll actually play with it for the next PR. So let's see. So it's called, what did you say it was called? Let's see. Let's go back up here. The Atlassian, just Atlassian. Let's look at that. Atlassian. Oops. I just had it. It flashed. Right about the time there we go. Atlassian. Stays in the flow using Atlassian for VS Code. Start Jira issues, raise and review PRs, and close out work all directly from your IDE. Nice. Yeah, the link between Jira and Bitbucket is awesome. And there's to do the thing. Okay, so this is definitely the one that looks, and it's made by Atlassian, so that's cool. So let's do install. Yeah, sure. I mean, I already sold them all my data indirectly, so might as well. They have all my code already. Okay, so for most of users, URLs for accessing your site will typically be in the format of my site at Atlassian.net. Sign in to Jira Cloud. Do you want to? Yes, open. Authorize. Manage your project. View user information. Well, yeah, you're gonna. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Accept. Back to VS Code. Yeah, I can do. Okay, so now that we've done that, all right, get started. Ooh, and I can see everything that's assigned to me. That's cool. Connect Bitbucket to view. Okay, let's see. Log into Bitbucket Cloud. Open. Read. Yeah, okay, nice. Oh, this is cool. So now I can actually see and my pipelines. Nice. Ooh. Interesting. Nice. I am not hating this at all. The thingy and the thingy. Nice. This is really cool. Thank you. Now I've totally lost track of what thing we were actually doing, but that's neither here nor there. I figure I can probably filter for lore. Yeah. Image backgrounds are removed. There it is. Nice. This is really stinking cool. So now this background feature is broken as part of dark mode. There's no easy quick fix. Yes, I know there's no easy quick fix. On the header and footer, because background tend to bleed through the UI. Additionally, if the image is extremely dark or light, the opposite theme may have issues with contrast for any text on image. To understand the scope, yeah, that's pretty much, that's going to be very true, because at the time that we did the background images, we did not have a light and dark mode. So if I say go to, let's say I log into LoreLink. Orange raccoon. And I open, let's say I create a character. Hello world. Hello world. And we're going to go ahead and upload the image of a fish. Upload a new image. Download. I want a pictures. I want a fish. Somewhere in here I have fish. There we go. My fishies. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to select a fish. And we're going to save Mr. Fish. Please don't die. Of course, because it's all running on emulated. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Unsplash and link an image of a fish temporarily. Because this is an issue just for emulators, and I'm too lazy to go figure out why it's doing that right now. I said I wanted fish. Ooh, there we go. Something that has, I want something that has a lot of dark and a lot of light. This is actually a really good image for that exactly, because see how it has some very light spots and some very dark spots? I think of what other one would be. Oh, this is perfect because it got some super dark and some super light. This is actually perfect. Yeah, but it's a paid image. I'm not gonna do that to them since it's a paid image. I'm gonna do load more. Give me more fishes. I need something very dark and light all at the same time. There we go. That's a dark and light all at the same time. So I'm gonna copy image address and we're going to go stick it right there for now and do that instead because my emulators are being dumb. All right, image URL. So we now have a fishy. Insert. Save. All right. So if I go to the fish, there you go. And so historically what we had is a background image here. And so if you, this image was basically used on the background. So if I go to any lore realistically, if we do an inspect, didn't really matter what size it was. And we go here, should be in here, probably on the page. I think there was a diff here that showed us vaguely where the image was lost. And I think this is what lost is. When we lost the opacity, now we want to keep that. That's fine. No data, no data. That's the image color. That's not it. Contains, covers, translates. Background transparent. Where did we lose it? Yeah, probably no. That's interesting. Let's see. Look for URL. So if we go looking for that, and I go find, let's do it on campaigns. So there was a background image, let's see, on campaigns, right? It's here, NG style background image. Okay. And that's, so we did have it on campaigns. That's not helpful for me because I did it on fish, which I think we did on characters. Yeah, I did it on a character. So a character would be a game object. So there we go. Game object background image. So we need to go find background image where we did that. And the answer to that, because I don't remember what I coded, is going to be somewhere in here. That ain't it. Okay, that is definitely it. However, why is it not showing up? So something has precluded this background image from showing. Scroll, page grid, and that is being placed on game objects right above main. So where's main in this context? Main in this context, nav. There's our game object, so it's here. And so here, the background image is definitely there, but something past it has a color or background color precluding the image from showing up. It's not on here. It's interesting. So if I give that, let's say a background color of white, will it suddenly quit being a butt? Just to see if it shows up. So if I take, forget the mixin. Okay, if I do a background color, what happens? And my guess is it's still going to be dark. It is allowed to rebuild, however, this lifetime. Yeah. And that was exactly what I figured. So what is past that is making it dark? There it is. It's on the body. Interesting. So now if I change, no, not what I asked for. So if I change this to be in light mode, yeah, we definitely have some issues because the image is so dark, which would have been an issue before. So it has to do with the body. So the fact that we have this background on body, now if I take out the background on body, I think we have other issues. but I have it on HTML and on other things, so this is fine. However, this is not, yeah, this is fine. This is not fine because of that. So what we need to do with this background image is actually give it, before the title bar was fully opaque. Yeah, it doesn't solve this issue though, because on a very dark image, and that would have existed even before introducing dark mode, where if you had a very dark issue, you were SOL. So this background image, if I remove the white, it's still fine. Like it still has, but we have a background position, background size, background repeat, background. And that is where what is the actual image? Is this the that is the actual image. So we can actually give it an opacity. We have a blur on it. We have an opacity 0.2. So let's say if I do an opacity 0.5. This is weird. Something is weird. Why is body? Because background image should be above body for starters. So the fact that adding the background back in makes the image go bye-bye is very, very odd. And so Z, oh, it has a Z index of -1. That's why. This is going to be really funky. You get a Z index of -2. Why did Doug get an index of -1? Yeah, no. Ban hammer. As soon as I can remember how to do it. I cannot figure out how to do this. I don't want to click the chat to reply. I want to remove the spam that has now found itself in. There you go. I think. There you go. Problem solved. Okay. Now that we got rid of the spam in the chat, don't spam random crap. Don't try to sell me crap. General. Except for really, except for like telling me about super cool input, super cool widgets and things on. For tying my tools together, that was super sweet. Why did that have a -1 index versus a 0 index? Let's see. There was a reason for this. That works. This works beautifully. That works wonderfully. And now we can do, don't know how I feel about, we can deal with the header here in a minute. If I change that to dark mode, we're still in good shape because we're doing an opacity based on your current background. Haha. That's the way, I like it. So we may have solved the problem. Sweet. Okay, so now I don't know how I feel about, now we could do, if I do an opacity of 0.01, which is I think what it was before, make it a little bit more faint. We can try a couple different pictures if we want, but this one has the big advantage of having a fair amount of both dark and light. That stays dark. Beautiful. That's really pale. Let's do 1.5. Let's split the difference. Splitting the difference. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Maybe it is 2. Maybe that is the whole reason I had it up 2. Who knows? This is hyper, as you can tell, I'm doing this very, very scientifically. This is still nice, even with this still works. Boop. Works wonderfully. Alright, we're gonna do that. Now the only thing is I kind of want, I'm not hating this. It's keeping the theme. This doesn't have one, this wouldn't have one, but this has it, and that doesn't. Beautiful. Now if I switch back, we haven't broken anything from this standpoint. Let's say if I go back to my campaigns, we haven't broken anything here. This still looks great. Yeah, I think we solved the problem. Which means, does this color change? Let me look at what's in prod. Now I'm second guessing myself. Let's go look at what's in prod. If I do a light mode, no, that is what's in prod. All right, that is what's in prod. Okay, so this, I'm gonna close prod back. This is good. So now if I go to characters, they have regained their backgrounds. Now let's try something a little bit more, I don't know. Change image. Let's try something. Let's do like something like bright or something. Let's go on the other extremes, like let's do some textures. Yeah, I've done the blues. Like that goes. Yeah, this is not a bad idea. Hold on. Let's try something like this completely. Actually, let's do some animals. I'm gonna be the closest things to it. There we go. Let's do this beautiful little kid. Let's do that. Let's do a kid. So if I do copy image, copy image address, we're gonna put that there. Let's see. So if I do that, ask for the good picture of a kitten. Give me a picture of a kitten. Oh, that's interesting. I apparently flubbed the kitten. Edit. Change image. I want you. I want insert. There we go. Why did that not give me a kitten? Alright, let's just create a new one. I'm annoyed at looking for a kitten. Events. Let's create an event. Actually, let's go back to they're all in the same place. That works. Works in dark mode, great. It's not very visible in light mode, but it's also a fairly light picture. Okay. It's not terrible. I think this works. The idea is to give it a shadow to help with the theme. So I think this isn't all bad. So I think this is good to PR. Let's see if we can't figure out this thing that we just created, that we just imported into my system to figure out how to do PRs. All right, so we have this here. We have code. So we have this change, which is perfect. And what we want. So from here, I'm gonna make the commit. I'm gonna commit this. We said that it was ticket. We had it open. That was the ticket. Subfix floor 854. And that is going to be reinstate background images. And then, so how does one create a PR from here using these fancy schmancy tools? Yeah, that's the, I guess I should have probably left that open and actually read the instructions. So that's going to have to happen regardless for us to be able to create a pull request. Okay. We have started work. What's that doing? Set up branch. No, I don't need to do all that. We already did the work. What I want to do is create a pull request. So how would I go and create a pull request from here with this tool? Create bucket pull request. There we go. Okay, create pull request. Ha! There we go. Hee. Transition issue to code review. Yes, please. Yes, please. Reviewers. Work. It's not going to give me options on reviewers. That's obnoxious. That might be... Why not? That's problematic. Okay. It's annoying a little bit. So if I create the pull request, would you like Visual Studio to... No, I do not. Thank you. So if I now go to said pull request, will it take me there? Take me there. It does. Nice. That was definitely not. I'm very confused. Open. That's the one we just did. What in the world? This is more confusing than it's helpful at the moment. Didn't I just create a pull request? I'm so very confused. Where's my pull request? I'm gonna go with I'm not sure that actually worked. That's been pushed. Eight 867 to latest. Bug fix 867, yes. Add reviewers, it's not giving me options. But then where does this magical pull request exist? Because here's what's weird. It does not exist here. And that is very weird to me. Oh, the fuck? Did it just create it to both? Something is weird. Okay. This is weird. Open draft merged. Did it merge it? Did it get approved? Oh, it did get approved. One commit, files change 2. Well, I guess they both went into the same bloody pull request. Weird. Alright, well, both changes are in there and they're getting merged, but this is more confusing than it needs to be, and this did not have the expected behavior I thought it did, so I don't know how I feel about this. Anywho, this is what it is. Anywho, only one change was there when I approved and I merged. Well, it's showing. Yeah, that's what's super weird. It's showing the snack bar change, and it's showing that Z-index game that I did to make the background work. So that what just got merged had both the changes. So, anywho, I don't know. I do know that for some odd reason, it is about that time of night where Twitch starts yelling at me about running ads, and I have the option of either deciding to go ahead and saying we're done for the night, or to go ahead and run ads and to keep going on random things. However, it is already pretty much, what time is it? That is a very good question. Basically almost 10 p.m. here, so I think that we're at a good stopping point, so I think I'm going to call it good for tonight. So thank you all for joining. Next time I'll try to have a little bit more of a plan. Probably not going to, but we'll see. Definitely always open to suggestions on what you want me to stream about, or if there's particular code concepts you want us to play with or whatever. Or you can find all of my info on martine.dev is where you can find all of my socials. Putting the links in the chat. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And thank you for the info about the tool. Super helpful. I'll have to play with it some more till I figure out exactly how it works, obviously, since I I mean, thankfully, super low impact. The fact, okay, both the things got merged at the same time in the same PR, but that's was kind of weird. So we'll have to figure out what happened there. More than likely, I know what happened. My dumb butt did not go back to latest to create the branch, and created the branch off of the other branch. I think is probably what happened. Anywho, with that, because how much you bet you there's 2 commits? Nope, there's only 1 commit. I don't know then. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. Thank you all for joining. I hope you have a great, wonderful week. We will do this again, hopefully with a little bit more regularity. The plan is to do this every Monday nights, starting around 8 p.m. Eastern, and to shoot the shit, talk about code, do random stuff, possibly try to convince Bullhabiath to come join me for random odds and ends, and for some kind of co-streams and shenanigans. But with that, I hope everybody has a